Beauty and the Beast, directed by Bill Condon, who also did the last two Twilight movies. Here he directs the live adaptation of the 1991 classic Disney animated movie of the same name. It also being one of my favourite Disney animated movies, as well as one of my anticipated movies of 2017. I absolutely adore the animated version of Beauty and the Beast. I grew up watching the movie on VHS over and over again, along with Aladdin, Jungle Book and Lion King, so I hold Beauty and the Beast very close to my heart. So when they announced they were making a live adaptation of that movie, I was very protective because I do hold that original movie very close to my heart. And I was afraid they would not be able to replicate the magic, the heart and emotion of the original. I didn't want them to destroy a childhood classic that I held very close to my heart, and I felt that meant a lot to me. When it was also announced the director, who had also directed the previous two Twilight movies, Bill Condon, was directing this live adaptation, I was very, very worried, because we all know how the Twilight films turned out, and the last two parts weren't exactly great films. Just a quick warning, this review will contain mild spoilers, so if you haven't seen the animated version yet and you do not want to be spoiled, then I highly recommend you do not watch the review. Watching this movie was like watching the 1991 animated Beauty and the Beast. They pretty much replicated the movie entirely, and in one way that's not so bad, because they also captured the magic and the soul and the feel of the original movie, and that made me really, really happy. But it was, for me personally, it wasn't different enough, to a point where even though the movie was like, it was a nostalgic, emotional and a magical trip, just like the original. But what I found myself asking was, throughout the entire movie, is this live adaptation really needed? Purely because they replicated almost every moment of the original movie. Now, going in as a fan of that original movie, then yeah, I want to see all those iconic scenes up on the big screen. But for me, it was like almost like a shot for shot duplicate of the animated movie, and I don't know. Don't get me wrong, I really, really enjoyed this movie. They captured the feel of the original. The film looked gorgeous. It's a very beautiful looking film. And watching this was like being a child again, watching the original movie. They really did capture the heart and soul of the animated version. It was very faithful to the original movie, and there were moments just like in the original where, yeah, I teared up a little bit, because it is an emotional story. But I feel like it was too faithful and not original and different enough. I think they could have, for me, I wanted them to take a few more risks, not like drastically change the movie, the original story, but just add something which would give a meaning for this. It's a remake, or or a live adaptation of the original, and I felt like they really needed to do something different. A lot of people won't feel the same way. A lot of people won't think the same, and a lot of people are loving this film purely because it is exactly like the original movie, the original animated movie. And don't get, like I said, I am a massive fan of the original animated movie, and I hold it very close to my heart. But for me, when it comes to remaking or retelling a story, I always believe that they should bring something new to the table and change it slightly. And I feel like that's what was missing from this movie. But that really did not affect my enjoyment for the movie. I mean, I really, really liked and enjoyed 2017's Beauty and the Beast. I think Bill Condon did a very good job, in fact, at bringing this to the screen in this form. I also feel like, compared to the original, it sort of lacked an emotional bite or emotional impact. I think the animated movie is just a little bit better than the live adaptation. It's not quite this live adaptation of Beauty and the Beast is not quite as good as the original animated version, but it's almost there, and I do feel like they sort of... I was disappointed with how they handled the moment when the Beast turns back into the Prince. I really do think that could have added a bit more emotional weight, and just had a little bit more of an emotional impact. I just didn't quite like how they shot it. I had that scene from the original movie stamped in my head, in my brain, and I was just imagining that scene and thinking, I hope it's as good as that moment. If there was one moment that I really wanted them to replicate, and it was that moment, and they kind of did, but they didn't, and it just didn't have that sort of emotional, magical impact about it like the original movie did. I loved the design of the Beast and the character portraying him, which was Dan Stevens. You might know him from Downton Abbey or the very good movie The Guest. I really like Dan Stevens' portrayal of the Beast. I think he really captured the character of the Beast very well, and by seeing so much of his performance and expression through the effects as he plays the Beast on screen, it also brought a lot of depth and personality to the character. And he just did a really good job at playing him and literally bringing him to life. He was great. So yeah, I loved the look of the Beast. He had this very dark fairy tale look about him, and I wished in a way the movie was actually more like how the Beast looked, which was more of a dark fairy tale. I sort of really wanted this to be a little bit darker than it actually was. For me as a child, and even recently, the animated movie is quite dark and intense, I feel. And I feel like they really steered away from that with this movie, making it more friendly to a younger audience. And I wish they had gone the other direction a little bit. Yeah, still keep it suitable for a younger audience, but making it slightly more darker, but without losing that family-friendly approach. In fact, about halfway through, I knew they would probably change a key moment in the movie just to make this a PG, and I think I could be wrong, but there was there's gonna be mild spoilers in this review, but in the animated version, Gaston stabs the Beast while they're hanging on to the top of the tower of the castle. And I had a feeling before this scene even came that they were going to remove that, and they did. They did it in a slightly different way, and even the way they went with I thought was a bit brutal. But yeah, there were moments like that. I feel like I just wanted it to be a little bit darker. So yeah, I think they could have gone a little bit darker, because I actually think the original 1991 version, the animated version, is actually darker than this version, the live adaptation. Okay, Emma Watson as Belle. Now, those who have been following me recently may know that I wasn't too keen on the casting of Watson as Belle. In fact, I thought the character was very miscast, but hope she would have proved me wrong and do a very good job of bringing Belle to life in this live adaptation. She did an okay job, but I still think they could have found someone more suited to the role. I thought the performance was okay. It was a little wooden on times, like she was just reading lines out, but she was okay. Don't get me wrong, I like her as an actress, and I think she did an okay job, even though her performance was a little wooden and bland at times. It felt like there was no heart there, no passion for the role, I felt, for me anyway. Or, almost as if she lacked conviction to the role or direction. I really think they could have chosen someone more suited for the role. Maybe that's just me, I don't know. Let me know below. How did you think? What did you think of Emma Watson's portrayal of Belle? If you were to ask me, well, what actresses would you have liked to see play Belle? To be honest with you, I really don't know. I just think Emma Watson was not that great a choice to be playing this character. Someone did throw a name at me the other day, and that was Natalie Portman. Now, I actually think Natalie Portman, in my head, I envision Natalie Portman to have been a better choice to have played that character. But what I think they should have done maybe is just done a mass casting call and maybe got an unknown actress in. I don't know. For me, the best performance was from Luke Evans as Gaston, and that's not just because he's Welsh as well. I thought Luke Evans as Gaston was great casting from the start. He was perfect as Gaston. He gave a really good performance in this movie, very good. For me, he really stood out among everyone else. And his voice was also very, very good. Luke Evans really can sing. And when it comes to vocal talents, I think he gave the best performance overall. For me personally, anyway. Now I'm going to go into part of the review that may come across like I'm contradicting myself a little. Because this is a part where I say I loved that the original musical numbers are in this movie. And they sounded amazing. Yeah, unlike the Jungle Book, in which the musical numbers were similar, but they sort of did a different take of the songs, which I really, really liked. With Beauty and the Beast, you pretty much get the exact songs from the original movie, as well as a few new ones as well, which I really liked. And well, they did a very good job at bringing those musical numbers to life in this live adaptation. They were simply amazing just to hear them again. It was like being thrown back into my childhood, and after me saying that this was too similar to the original movie and all of that, yeah, it sounds like I'm contradicting myself, but it's the fact they did such a good job at incorporating these scenes, these moments into the movie, and they were crafted very, very well. You know, they did a great job at capturing the spirit and magic of the original movie in these musical numbers. I loved the voice talents of Ewan McGregor and Ian McKellen as the candlestick and clock. I thought they were amazing, and I thought McGregor put on a very good French accent. It was only until he started singing during the brilliant Be Our Guest scene, he did start to actually lose that accent a little bit, as soon as he started singing. And McKellen as the clock was also amazing. He was brilliant. I like that they included some extra backstory scenes and character moments into this movie that was not in the original. I felt like they added, those extra scenes, they added a lot more depth to the characters. But there are also a lot of other moments that were not in the original for me, they felt like they were just tacked on you. There were scenes added that just did not really fit into the overall picture seamlessly enough, naturally enough. For me, those extra scenes didn't work mainly because the movie was such a carbon copy of the original that they stood out because they did nothing really to add to the story. But they were very, very few moments. I think they relied too much on the original movie. But I really did appreciate those scenes that did add a lot more depth and personality to the characters, because those scenes worked. Which leads me into the controversy. Yes, those gay moments involving the character LeFou. If anything, they stayed sort of faithful to the character, and they didn't shy away from something that may be too taboo for too many. The character, even in the animated version, had those qualities about him, but it was never really highlighted. And today I'm proud that Disney decided not to censor it, to showcase it to the world. But they did it in such a way that fitted perfectly within the movie. It didn't stand out. It was perfect, and I'll give him a big thumbs up to Bill Condon for achieving that. I really personally didn't see what the big fuss is all about, and so yeah, I really, really liked Beauty and the Beast. I don't think it's quite good as the animated version. I loved the design and the overall look of the film. It was very beautiful. I loved hearing all the original musical numbers. They were great, especially one of the last musical numbers is when they go to Gaston and the village. They go to kill the beast, and you've got that classic iconic musical number, and it really brought a smile to my face because the way they did it was amazing. It was just like, it was in moments like that, it was like watching the original classic movie as a child again. I liked the design of the candlestick, the teapot. I loved all of that. I thought that was amazing and very well done. So yeah, overall, I really, really liked Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, I had some gripes, and I knew I was going to, because I adore the original so much. But they are my views of 2017's Beauty and the Beast. So I will be giving Beauty and the Beast, the live adaptation, an A-. Thank you guys for watching again. I really do appreciate it. What did you think of Beauty and the Beast? Let me know below. Did you agree or disagree with anything I had to say about the film? Let me know below. Thanks again for watching. I really do appreciate it. And if you share the same passion as me, then why not hit subscribe and follow me on my journey.